Welcome to the Hardcore MBA Podcast.
Hello there, Hardcore MBA audience. Matthew Turner here, the author of The Successful Mistake, and I am delighted right now to be joined by Ben Marcoux, who is a musician, but also a Facebook fiend. He plays the saxophone, among many other instruments, I think. He's a bit of a musician, and when I say musician, I mean one of those people who can play a little bit of anything. Me, I can play nothing, so I'm very jealous of Ben. But he's also amazing when it comes to Facebook advertising, has been a big help to me personally, has been mentoring me. So I'm excited to be diving into this conversation so we can unearth some glorious Facebook tips. Well, first of all, Ben, hello. How the heck are you?
Hi, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. This is Hardcore MBA. What a great title, first off.
Oh, indeed, man.
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing really, really well. Finally, as we record this, it's middle of June, roughly, 2017, and we hit mid-90s yesterday, finally, which for you, I believe, where you're at, would be 32 and a half degrees.
Yeah.
Which is a hot one.
Which is rare.
Yeah, so I made a promise, though. I was talking to my mom about it. And, no way to build up credibility with listeners like talking about your mom. So, I was talking to my mom about it, and we made a promise to not complain.
No
complaining. So you can only complain about one of the seasons, and we already complained about winter. So
I think that's
where we're at.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. I try and do the same. Like, I was a bit hot walking down the hill today, but I was like, this is a good thing because I hate rain, I hate wind, I don't like the cold. So I can't complain about the sunshine. It's rather
you
warm
can't.
day here. It's good. So yeah, the summer is finally kicking in. I'm going camping with my better half and my son this weekend, so the sunshine will be nice for that too. But enough of all that, Ben. We're going to be talking about Facebook ads, but real quick before that, I'm hoping you can just give a bit of an introduction to yourself, to the audience. But rather than the elevator pitch, tell me about some of the things you've been working on real quick over the last 6 months.
Sure. So over the last 6 months, I'm pretty excited. The guy that actually was my first ever client turned business partner, because the relationship started off so fruitful. We've got a business that's launching actually at the end of June. Might as well be the announce the title here. It's called Digi Marketing Law, and what it is it's like LegalZoom for specifically for online entrepreneurs, which is really exciting. And then I've also been on the saxophone end of things, been able to play some really cool gigs, and I'm partnering up with a wonderful saxophone player to launch a course online, which is really exciting. And then just a lot of Facebook client stuff too. But those are the two projects that really have me pretty excited, the most excited for now.
I'm loving it. I'm loving how you've got those projects going on and exciting stuff ahead of you. And I'm also glad you didn't touch upon Facebook too much there, because, Ben, you have a rather split personality in the business world. As on the one hand, you have this talented musician who not only plays the instruments yourself, but helps other people. But on the other hand, you're a bit of a rock star when it comes to Facebook advertising. So to begin with, can you give us a bit of an overview of how you got into Facebook ads and how you've personally used them in your own world in recent years?
Sure. So I got into Facebook ads almost 4 years ago, when I decided initially, I was in college. This is the whole story. I'll try to give the shortest version. So I was starting in high school. I really wanted to learn how to talk to girls. So I signed up for David D'Angelo's dating newsletter, right?
Okay.
What I didn't know is that David D'Angelo was Eben Pagan. Eben Pagan is the guy who sold over $100 million of products online, and he made an offer one day via email. I randomly got an email. He's like, hey, guess what? I'm David D, but I'm also, this other guy. That's who I really am. I run this online business. Do you have an idea for an information product? And obviously I was like, saxophone, duh. So 4 years ago, I started putting all the pieces together, but unfortunately I went into information mode rather than just take a lot of action mode. So I learned about pretty much everything that you can learn about. I learned a lot about funnels. I got certified by Digital Marketer in paid traffic. I got like all this stuff done in like preparation, when in reality, I think it was just I had issues. I didn't think that I was good enough or something to do it. But then I went to um, a live event and met a bunch of people and realized that I actually could really help people. So for the last like 10 months or so, I've been I opened up the floodgates to work with clients and so I started working with Facebook for myself to try to promote a saxophone product that finally is coming into existence, like 4 years later. And then from there at the live event, I realized like, oh, I guess not everyone knows how to do this. I had some like little voice in my head or something saying like, no one needs this. You're not good enough for this. You don't run $10 million launches, or reading all the hypey marketing headlines. I was like, I haven't done any of that. But now over the last few months working with clients, we've had some really exciting results with Facebook ads. Just getting a lot of really good ROI and branding and leveraging the platform to help people, which is always really exciting. So I'm sorry, I don't know if that actually answered your question.
No, it
But
absolutely does, man. I mean, it's great to see. I always love that when it's a very evolutionary and organic journey. You started using Facebook advertisements for yourself. You just became interested in using it, but you've got to a point where you realized, oh, I can help other people do this. And I know you can firsthand because you've been helping me personally with it. And it's been like, I'm one of those people who is a bit, deer in the headlights, a kind of blinker theory, and I don't really quite all get it. And you've helped me connect the dots. And I also love how you touch upon there that very atypical self-doubt that entrepreneurs have of, this makes sense to me, but there's no way I could teach it to someone else. Other people know this, they don't need this. But in actual fact, it's more often than not that's where your calling is. That is where you can help people. And that's where I'm hoping you can help our listeners and viewers today, because Facebook advertising, wow, it is a real minefield to say the least. So we can't possibly get into everything in this chat. Instead,
no,
I'd like to avoid the really heavy super pro tips that only those with a lot of experience will get. But I'd also like to avoid the easy peasy beginner stuff. So assuming those listening right now have the bare basics on how to create an ad, set up an audience, all those kind of things, can you share maybe 2 or 3 of your biggest tips to help those who are in the early stages of Facebook advertising really get the big return, the big bang for their buck?
sure. So our goal now, I guess, 2 things that keep you from participating in the Facebook donation program. Zuck doesn't need any more cash. So the first thing I would say that you can do, you have to do it one of 2 ways. If you have the budget to run traffic to a survey or something like that, do that. To get the biggest pains, biggest desires, and the language that people use to describe themselves. If you have the budget, you can set up a survey for free in SurveyMonkey or Google Forms or anything like that. Or if you want to get a little more in depth, you can use something like Typeform or a program like that, and either drive traffic to it or get in the trenches and start building relationships and sending people that way and interviewing them more or less to get the idea of what the pain points and desires are. So that's the first thing. Like, that's the most important thing, is researching and really knowing in particular the pain and desire that the market's having. Because if you do that, then you can write crappy copy, but if it's the perfect thing that you're saying, then they'll give you a break, right? Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, tell us a little bit more about like the purpose of, doing this kind of research, why someone should be spending the time and the money. Because people think, Facebook advertising, I want to reserve money for driving people to, a course or a lead magnet, something that's going to create me money. Whereas the surveys, it is, at least on the surface looked at as lost income. There's no real return on that. So like, why should someone start there and put in the time, the effort, and resources?
Because you want to, as much as possible, avoid making assumptions, because you might get lucky. You might write an advertisement that does nail something and really think like, okay, cool, I got it. This is great. I'm good. When in reality, what you might find that you're marketing to the wrong gender or the wrong age group, or not the wrong, but just not the most optimized. Or like, let's say you're in a position like an entrepreneur, and what are the pain points of an entrepreneur, right? So like there's, not enough time in the day, right? Nutrition, whatever, revenue. Like there's lots of different angles you can attack or approach advertising to entrepreneurs with. So you might think that the biggest opportunity for you is in, I don't know, teaching nutrition to entrepreneurs. But in reality, it might be teaching lead generation to entrepreneurs. So if you really get the pain points down, or maybe it's the opposite. Everyone knows about lead generation. Everyone needs more leads and sales. But what people don't know is I think entrepreneurs especially are wired to really care about holistic things as well. So there's a whole subset of the market all about nutrition and fitness just for entrepreneurs.
Sure.
That you would probably never know about or think about if you didn't go in and actually realize these are the pains and problems that they're struggling with. So that's the big thing. The reason, I guess the short answer to your question though is you do research that doesn't give an immediate return so that all your other returns are bigger. So like the way you can think about it is like instead of handing dollars back and forth, it's like you're handing dollars to someone else and then they're handing you back $10 in a month.
Yeah.
Right? Like most people I think that are business savvy, or not even business savvy, I think just patient.
Yeah.
Would be like, yeah, that's a really good deal. I get it. That makes a lot of sense to do that. Instead of, frankly, the time and effort and energy can be frustrating, for sure.
So what sort of questions are you asking in these surveys? Is it just a really bare, simple one? Like, tell me about your biggest pain point right now, your biggest challenge, what you're working on? I mean,
yeah, I do them in a couple of different layers. So I do a survey I first learned about from Dan Henry, the Facebook guy, but I think it's also pretty common in Russell Brunson's circle of people, which is more or less the question is, first question is what's your biggest pain? Second is like, what is the one thing you would want to learn from me if you could learn anything? Third is what have you tried but hasn't worked before? And I can't remember. I can send them to you so you can link to them if you want.
that'd be great, actually, yeah.
And then the second type of survey of the three, I do three kind of really basic ones. So the first one is like the Dan Henry. The second one is the Ryan Levesque deep dive survey, which is very popular right now. I mean, I'm not an expert in it. I'm actually rereading the book as we speak, but it's pretty much what it does in a nutshell is it segments your list into like 3 to 5 buckets of people. So for example, let's say you sell to entrepreneurs and you've got an offer for fitness and for lead generation. You can figure out, okay, these people care about this, these people care about this, I'll make this offer to these people, this offer to these people. And it's a really cool way to kind of let people tell you who they are, rather than ask a direct question like, are you a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? Because most people don't know. Like a lot of people who are advanced might think they're not, and a lot of people who are beginners probably think they're not.
I mean, that's the other thing, but I think we need to probably make out to those listening and watching right now is that this is a form of lead generation for you. Yeah, you're asking them to fill in a survey, but by filling in this survey, you're still going to capture their email, put it into your mailing list, especially if you use something like Typeform and integrate it with Zapier. So then they're in your system, so that's then an opportunity for you to sell later down the road. So it's not like you're just throwing out an advert, filling in a survey, and you're not getting their details. You're still able to record their details. It is just a different form of lead generation.
Yeah, it's a little more engaged on their end. And then the third kind of survey is just a real simple, like you can stick it on like thank you pages. Thank you for registering pages. If you have a free download that you give people when they sign up, you can just put a little one question survey. Most important question about what? Usually for me, I find This is actually coming from an old Dan Kennedy saying. Dan Kennedy, for those hopefully they do know, he's a legendary, brilliant copywriter and marketing strategist, like old school, like back in when marketing was real and they wrote it on newspapers. And he's an angry old man. But anyway, Dan Kennedy's got a really good quote, which I'm now trying to recover and think about what it was, and now I completely forgot because I made my joke.
Man, well, we can get back to that. It'll probably come to you in a couple of minutes.
I want to officially formally apologize to the listeners.
He's full of good quotes, is Dan Kennedy, so be sure to check that out, guys and gals. Now,
Dan Kennedy.
I really love how you started there with a less obvious thing. A lot of people would have done straight into more tactical stuff. This is the bigger picture strategy. You're trying to set yourself up for success. And the way you framed it is perfect. Rather than, looking at it as, I'm going to put $1 out there to get $2 right now. You're putting $1 out there, so in a month time you can get $10. And $10 in a month is a lot better than $2 now, in my opinion. And I'd like to think the majority of people listening would agree. So what's your, maybe one other tip? What's your second tip? They've started to, book it, segment people, get people involved. What should they then do with
cool.
ads?
Let's assume now, research is done. I can't stress that enough. But now let's talk a little tactical thing. So the first thing that I would do is I recommend writing an advertisement that asks a question about the pain that you just found out that they suffer. Okay. So let's just do entrepreneurs again because it's easy. I think most people listening to this are entrepreneurs. So I think they'll get it. Let's say you're a personal trainer and you want to sell busy entrepreneurs on the idea of fitness, okay? Of maintaining health because you can't run your business if you're dying. So the way that you could start off with some question like, literally you could do like attention entrepreneur, or you could just imply entrepreneurs throughout the copy. Like, are you an entrepreneur who's struggling to stay physically fit? Do you know, though, how important obviously, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that if you're not feeling good, your business isn't feeling good. Well, I'm blank, and I just wanted to introduce you to a really great resource I've got. It's called 7 meals that take under 4 minutes to make, and you can get it for free here. Boom, Jim.
And it's just all framed into question. It's using that research you got earlier, and it's now asking them a question basically like, do you feel this? Like, I know this is your pain point because I've done the research, but I'm just making sure, it's like, can you relate to this pain?
Yeah, and then what you do is that does 2 things. The psychological people that like to overanalyze things and give things labels call it an open loop. It's a question. Questions need answers, that they need a resolution. So that's the first thing. Everyone that reads it will be like, interesting. And then the other thing it does, though, is segment people into yes and no answers. Because let's say you're someone like me, or someone like you, right? You said before this you're getting ready to go out. Like, you already care. I mean,
yes, those who are watching the video will see me in my gym get up right here.
So exactly. For the radio listeners, we're looking sharp. I'm in a white tee getting ready to do the same thing. So you've got that question, and then what it does is segment people into yes and no. So for someone like you and me, who is interested in fitness and but already does it, that's where the survey could come in, right? Where, like, if you bounce them then to a page that is like, hey, are you complete slob who's completely out of shape, or are you just looking for some ways to keep on the right track? Then you can speak to those audiences differently. But that's a little beyond this. But the point is that advertisement, you find the pain, you figure out the frustration, you ask them a question if they have it. If they do have it, they answer yes in their brain, and they keep reading. And then you make the offer in the advertisement directly related to solving the pain that you introduce in the question.
Sure.
So are you an entrepreneur who struggles to find the time to stay fit and healthy? As you know, it's so important to run your business to be fit and healthy. Otherwise, you're sick and your business will suffer. Well, here's 7 meals that take under 7 minutes to create soup to nuts. Boom. Download it here completely free.
I love it. I love his 2-step process. Now, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this. So there's loads of type of offers and lead magnets that you could send people to. It's all, you're basically taking someone from Facebook to somewhere on your website in a bid for them to buy or give your email or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
What are 2 or 3 good examples in terms of that offer? And what are maybe 2 or 3 not so good examples? Like, what basically should people put behind the advertisement, and what should people not be putting behind the advertisement, in effect to what you've just talked about right now?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we're going to pull back a little bit and then bring it right back. So the most important thing to understand when it comes to anything on Facebook is understanding what Facebook cares about. They are obsessed with user experience. So that's why they don't allow in their advertising calling out people based on body shape or race or gender or anything that when they look at it could potentially result in someone feeling bad. Okay, so if you go into all your advertising realizing that Facebook cares about their users more than anything because the users are their cash cow. And I'm sure Zuckerberg would say that he cares about his users for other reasons, but that's neither here nor there. I've never met him. He seems nice enough. But so if you understand the user experience, then that's half of it. The other half is understanding what people are actually doing on the platform, right? So a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's great. I just wrote a 300-page ebook, and I'm going to give it to the world for free because I want them to know everything about blah, 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 blah. Well, most people are like scrolling on the bus, or how long are you on Facebook for at any given time? Unless you're crazy, maybe 5-10 minutes at a time. Like overall, I'm sure most people are probably on Facebook for at least an hour a day, but I don't think it's like 60 straight minutes of scrolling. So you have to give someone something that does 2 things, the Facebook offer. It needs to be exactly what they want so that they're actually willing to stop scrolling past their friends to see your thing. And then the other thing it needs to be, or not needs to be, but if you're just getting started out, you should create something really short. So a very short training video or a checklist or a cheat sheet, something that people can absorb immediately that is immensely valuable and tangible and relatable to their concern. And if you do those things, that's cool. And then like some advanced marketers will do things like run to like mini classes, like mini series, which really are just like automated evergreen product launches. Yeah. But that involves, videography and this and that. The other thing that's cool about just running to a cheat sheet, not only does it make sense with the platform, like someone who's like, oh, I feel out of shape, I feel like crap, maybe they just ate like that crap, like a donut or something, and they're scrolling through in line on the way to their car or waiting for the bus outside, and they see the ad.
On the way to buy another donut.
Yeah, exactly. And they see the advertisement, 7 meals you can make in under 7 minutes for under $7. Yeah. It's like free cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And like everyone's seen a recipe book. They're this big a recipe, like you can handle that information. Anyone can. So if that's something that appealed to you, you'd be like, yeah, cool. I can do that. Boom, download, check it. Yeah. Oh, nice. I'll make this tomato salad when I get home. Like, cool.
So short and sweet is the key. I suppose in the end of the day, you're trying to get people onto your list so that you can nurture them, and then eventually, whether it's weeks or months, sell to them. So that initial thing, you don't need to reinvent the wheel here. It's not rocket science. It's coming up with the pain point, a compelling piece of copy and message that connects to that pain point, and then just entice them with an offer that is not going to take them a lot of thinking. It's not going
No
to take them.
thinking is
It's
the
not going to
best.
take them a big thinking of like, oh, should I get this or not? It's just a no-brainer, yes. And then when they've got it, it's not going to take them hours, or in many cases even minutes, to
It's
read
called
it
a
or
quick
to
win.
Yes.
Quick win. Give the quick win. And then the other thing that's great is for your end of things, it doesn't take much effort to put together a cheat sheet. Frankly, a lot of people, they worry like, oh, I don't have it branded. I don't have this or that. It's like, people don't care.
No.
You could have a number. You could literally call it, 7 quick meals for entrepreneurs. 1, there it is. 2, there it is. And you're done. And the cool thing about it is it takes very little effort, very little time, very little energy. And so you can create 5 or 6 offers. Do your research. Say like, okay, well, these are the 5 pain points that they told me were the most painful for them. So this week I'm going to run this ad to this one, get my numbers. Next week I'm going to run this ad to this one, get my numbers. And then at the end you can see, okay, well, my people resonate with whatever, the third one. And I'll run that one, and then that's kind of the way I would think about it. So you can don't take like a time putting together like 7 mini courses or something. Makes no sense.
Keep it simple. And I mean, it's great stuff, man. And I just want to, it brings us all nicely. I'd like to bring it home now, because let's lay down the gauntlet for the listener. Like, if you were to offer those listening right now a quick and simple challenge that they could do over the next 5 to 7 days, what would you set them to take them from Facebook ad rookie to on the road towards Facebook ad pro?
Ooh, in 7 days. In 7 days.
To
Okay.
get them on the road, to get them going.
Oh, man. So I don't want to harp on research. I already harped on research so hard, that's just implied. So let me try to find something else. I would say in the next 5 to 7 days, if you're in a position where maybe this is not the best advice based on what I just said about research, but if you're really, really antsy to get into the platform and you're someone who has been working with your market a long time and really does understand your market, even if you don't know the exact language they're using yet, I want to say this with a giant asterisk: get that research done. It's gold. It's gold. It's gold. It's gold. But if you're anxious, right, and you don't have a big budget and you just want to go in and run an advertisement to see what happens, and you want to test out the platform, that would be my 5-day challenge to you, is go back, review this video. The script I gave for the copy, like 10 minutes ago, isn't the most exciting script, but it works as a great starting point. So what I would say, you can do this today. Go in, click on create campaign, click shit. Just click stuff, like click around, and then say like, okay, well, I want a conversion. So let's set up an ad for, or conversion ads are a little more complicated. So just go in, set up a basic traffic ad. Okay. Just clicks ad. So that would be under the campaign level, hit clicks, then name it, go into the ad set level, and just start I can give you the specifics of what to do in the ad set level, but more or less you want to run the ad on news feeds and start off the ad running to the big 4 American speaking countries. So again, you'll see this in the ad set level. You uncheck everything that doesn't apply to that, set it at a nice low daily budget, like $10, and then go in and start typing interests into the detailed interests in the ad set level. And Facebook is so smart that if you type in, say, like Entrepreneur Magazine, it'll start listing all the other things that entrepreneurs dig. Yeah. And you'll end up with a giant list of interests. And then get your audience up to about 1 million people. Just click some interests. Get your audience up to about 1 million people. Also change your age level, because it defaults 18 to 65. Put it at like 25 or 30, because most 18-year-olds don't have any cash. And then on the ad level, pick a really great picture, or record a quick video with your iPhone in good light, essentially running down that script. You can call it the question script. Just ask the question, ask if it's something they want help with. If they said yes, here's the solution. that you're giving them, and you can have this whole process set up in an hour.
Yeah.
Phone included, record. I'm not talking like I'm a simpleton. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I need a video team. Dude, you have a video team right here, man. It's right here.
Yeah, I think the big advice is to just kind of get started. I was on the fence a long time with Facebook ads, and I think over the course of a week, say, okay, I'm going to spend $50, $60, $70 on this over the next week. I'm not necessarily going to expect huge returns, but what I do want to get out from this is to start. I want to know how it works. I want to get a good idea of what does and does not convert, and take it from there. But until you kind of move some needles, like, you don't know anything that's going to happen. So yeah, put a little bit of money down, even if it's 30 or 40 bucks, see what does and doesn't work. And I think that's really good advice. So this has been great, man. We're going to tie it up now because under 30-minute mark. Where can people learn more about your fine self?
Sure. So actually, you can find me on Facebook under Ben Marcoux, which is Marcous. I'm also on LinkedIn, all the social media stuff. And I am currently putting together a website, which is, I love it, it's so ironic to be an online entrepreneur without a website.
I've been there, man.
So yeah, I'm actually trying to put together like something real. I don't want to just get like I help people build Squarespace websites, and I actually so that website, though, the URL, people want to save it for the future, is B as in bad, M as in Mary, X as in X. So BMX, like the bike, marketing.com.
Well, we're going to link to all this in the show notes, so check that out. Go to hardcoremba.com. You can search for it's just Ben Marcoux, into the search box. It'll come up. You will also get links to me and my book. You'll be able to grab a free little goodie from myself with a Success Mistake. And we're going to link to everything that we've talked about. Oh, yeah. Well, you've read the book, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sent all the way from across the pond, man. It landed here finally, and I had the Kindle version, and I'm still old school, so I preferred the... That's just me. Either way, it's fake words.
I am with it, man. I'm exactly the same. So you'll be able to grab stuff both from myself and from Ben, everything that we've talked about. It's been a real pleasure having you with us today, Mr. or Mrs. Listener. And Ben, thank you so much for being part of this. It's been a dream, my friend.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I want to stress to people that if you have questions, I'm easily accessed. I know the tactical stuff towards the end about how to actually set up a campaign, we rushed over, and I would love to, assist in any way I can. So thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Do it, guys. Do it. Reach out to Ben. He's been a huge help to me, so I'm sure he'll be able to help you. So my name is Matthew Turner, the author of The Success Mistake. I've been talking to Ben Marcoux, and you have been an amazing listener listening to the Hardcore MBA. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
This podcast is brought to you by MrOutsource.com. Outsourcing to the Philippines done for you. Mr. Outsource is a recruitment company matching busy entrepreneurs with Filipino virtual assistants, so you can have the time to focus on what's important.